In the last season, the anime ended with the pro-heroes and students ready to ambush the Paranormal Liberation Front. This means Season 6 is bound to be one of the series' most cruel and heartbreaking seasons because it features a massive war. So let's see whose side came out on top, the heroes or the villains. Hi guys and welcome back to AniCap Explained. Today we'll be recapping the anime My Hero Academia episodes 1 to 5. Ready? Well then let's begin. The episode starts at the Paranormal Liberation Front's base where Double Agent Hawks is called over by Twice for some help. Apparently the confused villain needs to make some sort of mission statement for the Paranormal Liberation Front. He manages to help Twice with his mission statement. Meanwhile in Hawk's mind, he worries Twice is becoming too strong. He also feels sorry for the villain because he has been using him to gather information. The scene then focuses on Dr. Kyudai Garaki. On the outside, the doctor seems like your typical helpful medical worker. However, the heroes get intel that he is the man responsible for bioengineering the Nomu. The heroes discuss stopping the doctor from creating more abominations before they get out of hand. Naomasa Tsukachi tells the pro-heroes their plan of attack. He informs them that they will be attacking two teams, with the team led by Endeavor in charge of stopping the activation of the Nomu in the hospital by capturing Dr. Kyudai. Meanwhile, the team led by Edgehot will be attacking the Paranormal Liberation Front's hideout. Both teams will also receive assistance from student heroes. On the day of the planned raid, the heroes are in position and ready to strike. Aside from the areas they plan to attack, they also have other pro-heroes catching the heroes leaking intel to the enemies. Back to the two main locations, the pro-heroes and the students begin their operations. In Jaku General Hospital, Endeavor instructs Mirko to find where all the Nomus are. Endeavor quickly finds Dr. Kyudai and Eraserhead uses erasure on the doctor. They find out he has a quirk that allows him to retain his power. He turns into an old man when it is deactivated. While Mirko reports she found the Nomu, a large Nomu attacks the heroes. It turns out the doctor before them was only a copy and the real one has yet to be found. The real doctor was hiding deep within the hospital working on Tamura Shigaraki, but to his shock Mirko manages to power her way through his secret base. Finding the doctor and his hideout, Mirko proceeds to destroy everything in sight. Meanwhile, the other heroes have their own Nomu they have to defeat. The hero students nearby such as Izuku Midoriya, Ochako Uraraka, Shoto Todoroki, Tenya Ida, and Katsuki Bakugu are providing logistic information to the pro-heroes as well as acting as additional help with the evacuation efforts. In the team within Jaku Hospital, the sixth top hero Crust is closing into where Mirko is but runs into several Nomu. Meanwhile, Mirko is pursuing Dr. Kyudai, but the Nomus are giving her a hard time. As this is happening, Crust and the other pro-heroes manage to arrive at her location. Dr. Kyudai escapes to a deeper part of the hideout and tries to speed up Tamura's transformation. Mirko senses the doctor and decides to push forward. She rushes to the next location while dodging the attacks from the Nomus. She loses her arm but finds out the Nomus stop working and she crushes their heads. The scene switches to the Gunga Mountain Villa raid team. Denki Kaminari suddenly regrets his decision to join the front lines, but one of his teachers named Midnight reassures him that they badly need his power. In the villa, Skeptic learns that the heroes are on their way to their base. He also figures out that Hawks has been leaking information to the heroes. However, the heroes break into the base before Skeptic can warn the villains. While the villains prepare for a counterattack, Denki charges ahead of the heroes and absorbs the attack, giving the pros an opportunity to strike. Unaware of the heroes attacking the base, Redestro is waiting for the rest of the members for a meeting in the underground hall. However, one of his followers informs him of the heroes attacking the surface. Meanwhile, the heroes on the surface are making progress by defeating huge sums of villains. Inside the villa, Hawks corners Twice using his feathers. Twice feels completely betrayed because he always looked at Hawks as a friend. Hawks gives Twice a second chance and tells him to give up. He promises Twice that he will help the villain build a new life because he thinks Twice is a good person. He refuses and decides to fight Hawks. Meanwhile, Fumikage Tokoyami attempts to seal the remaining escape routes of the enemies. Ridiretsu tries to stop him but gets pushed back because of Fumikage's quirk. Twice creates copies of himself in another part of the villa and swears that he will kill Hawks. Somehow Hawks manages to overpower Twice. Before he delivers a killing blow, Dobby's flames appear, nearly burning Twice and Hawks. Hawks risks his wings burning to save himself and Twice. Twice attempts to escape and manages to send a copy of himself to save Himiko Toga and Mr. Compress, but Hawks appears behind him with the purpose of stabbing him. However, the clone defeats the hero, attacking his comrades. Unfortunately, the copy begins to disintegrate. The clone thanks his comrades and returns Himiko's handkerchief before fading away. Interesting story up to this point? Great, but before I move further, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and give us a like. Done? Well then, let's continue. The episode starts with a monologue from Fumikage explaining Hawk's quirk called the Fierce Wings. Then he recalls a conversation with the hero where Hawks admits fire being his weakness. At the present time, Fumikage along with the other students are retreating back to the rear, but he notices a blue flame emerging from the top floor of the villa. Meanwhile, Hawks is having difficulty defeating Dobby as his wings are quickly burning due to Dobby's flames. Dobby tells Hawks that he plans to be the one to carry the Will of Stain instead of Tamura. Back in the hospital, Endeavor is trying to catch up to Mirko only to find Crust and the other heroes having difficulty with a Nomu. Eraserhead also catches up with them and quickly uses Erasure to stop the Nomus from regenerating. The heroes fight the Nomus and tell Endeavor to proceed to Mirko. Further into the hospital, Mirko is still fighting her way through several Nomus. She finally reaches the doctor despite being severely wounded. She spots Tamura's tank and targets a blow toward it. Meanwhile, the other heroes are struggling with the high-end Nomus because of their ability to think. Mirko manages to destroy the tank but is caught by one of the Nomus. The Noma reels her back to the end of the hall. Endeavor catches Mirko and treats her wounds. Dr. Cute-Eye attempts to fix the machine and wake up Tamura before all the liquid in the tank drains out. However, one of the heroes present, Mike, successfully destroys the tank and apprehends the doctor. He leaves the hero Xless to take care of Tamura's body. The scene then changes to Tamura's dream. In his dream, he sees a destroyed town and his sister. He also recalls conversations with his mother and father when they were still alive. However, he destroys the vision he has of his father and walks toward an image of All for One and merges with it. At the end of the vision, Tamura wakes up. All the heroes in the hospital are having a hard time defeating the Nomu. Gran Torino comes to Endeavor and Mirko's aid. Finally, all the Nomu are defeated, but an even bigger problem awaits them. Unknown to them, Tamura wakes up and decays the hero watching him. Fumikage flies back to the villa with the other team to help Hawks. He gets there just in time to prevent Dobby from killing Hawks. He initially struggles to find an escape route, but a sudden ice wall allows Fumikage and Hawks to escape. Meanwhile, at the underground hall, Gigantomachia senses Tamura's awakening. While the attacks continue, the heroes evacuating the civilians still have several individuals lost in the area. In the middle of the evacuation, Izuku hears the voice of One for All warning him about Tamura. He implores Izuku to try to stop him. At the hospital, Tamura releases his powers and Gran Torino rushes to push Present Mike out of the way. He warns the other heroes of the incoming danger and leads the evacuation. At an alarming pace, the decay reaches the town, destroying everything in its path. The heroes rush to evacuate the last of the city. Some heroes try to stop the decay from spreading but quickly realize it is futile, so they shift all their efforts back to rescuing everyone still stuck in the town. Standing in the middle of the destruction, Tamura finds all formulas for the anti-quirk medicine destroyed. He then hears the voice of Gigantomachia using a discarded phone. He calls the giant and commands him to go on a rampage and follow him. Season 6 of My Hero Academia is proving to be the most brutal season yet. We've already seen several killings among the villains and the heroes in just 5 episodes. The war is just starting, so we can expect that more lives will be lost in the next few episodes. Character death isn't new in the anime. We've seen a few in past seasons, but they are usually spaced out. But in Season 6, we see at least one person die in each episode right after twice dies in Episode 3. We're excited to see the aftermath of the war and how everyone will recover from it. Several of the top heroes are already severely injured, but we also want to see the students in action. So far, most of the students remain on the sidelines of the war, so it's about time for them to get in on the action. After all, the stars of the show are the students. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing so you never miss out on any new recaps. That's all for today. We'll see you at the next one.